Hey, Andre, we finally have a follow-up to our, dare I say, breaking news story that we put out a couple weeks ago about the fact that Cummins was fined by the federal government in one of the biggest settlements in history, $1.6 billion, because they were caught apparently messing with the emissions on the Ram Cummins heavy-duty trucks.
Yeah, we called it Dieselgate 2.0 because it is a big deal. That original news came out on a Friday afternoon.
Yes.
Right before Christmas. So it is a big deal. And now we have an update because several things has happened. First of all, owners, people we know, are getting recall notices for their Ram trucks. Even though Cummins was fined, it affects Ram owners, right? Because those engines were used in the Ram trucks. So we can show you some of that. Also, a lot of people are worried about what's going to happen. Do I have to fix my truck before I register it? Or maybe I can't even drive it.
And that's where the news is, because in California, which is, of course, one of the largest and most populated states in America, recall notices have gone out. Let's show them the recall notice. One of our viewers sent us the recall notice for their truck. And let's talk about this recall notice, because this is big news, Andre.
Yeah, by the way, down here, designator is 67A. So when you're Googling and searching for this, if you search for 67A recall or emissions recall, you will get all the information based on that. And this owner got this letter, important emissions recall. And remember, last time we weren't sure because the news just dropped. Is it a physical device that was controlling the emissions? Is it a software device? But now, at least for this recall, we're looking at the software device.
Yeah, what does it say? Tell me how we know that.
So here, how do I resolve this important emissions issue? To do this, your dealer will reprogram the powertrain control module, PCM. The estimated repair time is 1 hour. And then they say you should schedule an appointment because, of course, it takes time to get your truck in and out. So
the important word is reprogram.
Reprogram.
Yeah.
So this doesn't say replace a part of any kind.
But there's a sting in the tail, Andre, and this is where it's going to get potentially not just ugly for Cummins owners in California, but throughout many of the Carb States. And we'll talk about that in a second, but let's talk about the second part of this recall, which is where all kinds of issues are going to come up.
So then it says, California residents. The state of California requires the completion of this emission recall repair prior to vehicle registration renewal. Your dealer will provide you with a vehicle emissions recall proof of correction form. Of course, they'll have forms, right?
Yeah.
And the emissions recall service is performed. After the service is performed.
So let me kind of point out the two big words there, registration renewal. So what California and what this recall is saying, that if you live in California and you don't do that emissions update, then you will not be able to register your truck.
Renew your truck.
Registration, same thing, right?
Yeah, but I mean, people might say, well, I have an old truck. Of course I have to do emissions or, check it and, renew. But this is for trucks even going to 2017, 2018, 2019, and maybe even more, affecting current owners of new trucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to get your truck smogged, right? But it's another thing to have your truck recalled and then show proof that the recall was done before you can renew your registration. Now, think about this. Let's kind of play this through. Let's say that you're a truck owner and you've deleted your emissions, which, a lot of people, especially in states like Idaho, remember when we went and bought Stubby, everybody there had a deleted truck, have done. Now, basically what this is saying is, because you won't be able to actually renew your registration since you deleted your truck, you won't be able to register it. That's. And then the question is that only in California, or is that also going to be in the entire country, right? Because California is what's called the Carb State. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so there's EPA, of course, which is a federal organization. And there's also CARB, California Resource Board, which has been, at the leading edge of a lot of these emissions regulations, right? And other states are adopting a lot of CARB's rules from California.
Do we have a map? We think we have a map.
Yeah, we have a map. And also Colorado, where we're based, is one of those states. So this is kind of a rough map of current and also upcoming CARB states that are, adopting CARB rules. Of course, California is over here, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, then also New Mexico, Colorado. The big one is New York State. The other, one of the most populous states in the union, of course, is New York. There's, of course, Vermont, Maine, and some others. So there are around 13 states right now that could have the same thing happen.
All right, so here's my questions for the government, right? What I find lacking is an explanation of what Cummins did. Because, what did Cummins say? Let's talk about that first.
Yeah, so last time we didn't have a Cummins statement.
Right,
So
yep.
right now, I'm linking here off of TFLtruck.com to Cummins page. This is investorcummins.com. Cummins is a public company.
It's a big company.
It's a huge company.
It's a huge company.
And actually, they've been around for over 100 years. And they're based, I actually went to one of their plants in Indiana. Amazing plant. Okay, so first of all, right here, they're saying the company has seen no evidence that anyone acted in bad faith and does not admit wrongdoing. Okay, this is a statement about the fine, right? But nowhere, this page is pretty small. Look, Roman. We have 3 paragraphs. It says here that Cummins has disclosed a review of these matters, and when it began in 2019. So they said actually they noticed this in 2019 and began working on these issues, and has regularly updated its disclosures as that review has progressed, and it affected, of course, 2019 trucks and also trucks since 2013.
So, we read the comments in the previous video, and a lot of people felt that the government was being very heavy-handed with Cummins and that they were forcing Cummins to do something that Cummins did not want to do. I don't know whether that's the case or not. The problem here is, as a Cummins owner, so we have a 2-year-old Ram 2500 with the Cummins.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, first of all, what is the government alleging that Cummins has done besides, not meet emissions? I get that, but what exactly? I want to know exactly what is being done in the engine, and more important thing, what I want to know is what will it do to our Cummins once we have
Right.
Because when you think about what happened with the previous, Ram EcoDiesels,
And even VW Dieselgate.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing.
yeah. So there's a lot of information that for some reason is missing. And look, I don't think Cummins would pay 1.6 million if there was billion, sorry, 1.6 billion if there was just smoke, right? There's got to be some kind of fire. But the government, I think, should and must define what that fire is. So, lack of that, we are actually going to do some investigating and testing of our own. So let's tell them what we've decided to do to help you guys figure out what exactly this recall is going to do to your truck.
Yeah, because we don't know, is it going to make it slower, less powerful, what's going to happen? So we have a 2022, like you said. So we'll do, the next video we will publish, we will do some real world testing like TFL does.
Yep.
So we want to do a fuel efficiency test while monitoring DEF, because I heard rumors, I've been on some owner forums and groups that said maybe the fix is to use a little bit more DEF, right? To kind of, address this.
Clean up the NOx or whatever's going on, because they haven't said what exactly.
Right, we don't know exactly
what's going on.
what the software does, right?
Yeah.
So we will do a fuel efficiency test. I want to do a 0 to 60 towing.
Kind of give you
before.
Yeah. Kind of tell you if there's any power that's going away or not.
Yeah. Also 0 to 60 empty, and also quarter mile.
Okay.
So on our truck, and then we'll do the recall.
Well, we haven't gotten our notice yet. As soon as we get our notice.
Well, yeah, and we're assuming we're involved.
Yeah, we're assuming we're involved.
Because every document I've read, it says basically every Cummins truck that was sold over the last 10 years is involved.
So the idea is, in the next video, and you guys can watch it, we're going to do a series of before tests, both towing, non-towing, acceleration, DEF use,
and fuel use.
To find out exactly what the baseline is for our truck. Now, when we get the notice, we don't know when we're going to get it, so it's not exactly scientific, because we can't control weather. Obviously, today there's snow out there. By the time we get it, it might be sunny, temperature and such, but we'll do the best that we can to actually figure out what the difference is before and then hopefully after the recall, so that you guys will know what it's actually doing to your truck in terms of towing, in terms of hauling, in terms of just driving it around, because that's really what I'm curious about. And what I want to know is, what the heck did Cummins do? We still don't know what Cummins did or did not do, and that's, I think, for me, the most frustrating part, because look, if the company actually did circumvent the rules, then I understand the need for this recall. But right now it feels like we don't know, so and everybody else is just kind of out there guessing. And there's got to be somebody. If you're out there and you work for Cummins or you work for the government, ask a TFL truck. We'll keep you guys anonymous. Let us know exactly what this is about. We know it's about meeting the rules and regulations, but we want to know, what does that really mean?
Yeah, we also have a letter from Sean. By the way, we received several letters from
Okay.
you guys, so thank you already. Sean said that his 2018 Ram 2500, he took it in for maintenance in December 13th, 2023, and a reflash was performed.
Okay.
He hasn't noticed a big change in drivability of his truck, so
That's good.
It wasn't delayed.
Yeah.
But this has already been happening. I wanted to make one closing comment also.
Yeah.
I was reading carb documents. You know how fun those are.
Yes. I know how fun those are.
And during COVID, there were other emissions regulation cases, not just Cummins, other companies are involved. And they actually gave exemptions because part shortages, right?
Sure.
Because let's say you want to make the recall, you go to the dealer and the
You
dealer
can't.
says, I don't have any parts.
Yeah.
So CARB actually provided some exemptions, gave people longer time to be able to address this. But if 960,000 trucks,
Yeah, almost 1 million.
almost 1 million trucks are involved, and each one of them takes an hour to reprogram,
It's a long
that's
time.
a lot of hours.
That's a lot of hours, yeah.
So not every truck will be fixed immediately.
And 1 hour is being optimistic. You've been to the service department. It's never that easy.
They need to call the headquarters. The headquarters have to do something,
It's all good. But anyway, hopefully we will know what it does to our truck, and you will know what it will do to your truck. And yeah, thanks for watching. Be assured that we are, Andre's over this, like ticks on...
Like fly on something.
I was going to say ticks on a hound dog.
Okay.
But we're covering the story, and we just don't want to be out there speculating because there is really no news. And so we're trying to nail it down as best as we can.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And of course, oldtfl.com is the latest news from us is in one place right there, oldtfl.com.
And we'll see you next time. Ciao.